Fire! You know what? I think we should make food from this country. Serbian food.
Yo, what's up, guys? Today in this new episode, we're going to get Serbian food. We're actually going to the supermarket right now. So basically, we're going to be cooking two dishes, Gibanica and Goulash. These are two very traditional Serbian dishes. So we really don't want to disrespect the nation, okay?
I don't think you pronounced like.
Okay, so essentially, what you got to know about this country. So Serbia is a country in the Balkans. They speak Serbian.
It's got just over 6.5 million.
Yeah, he's there. But basically, Serbia's been occupied by a lot of different powers. You know, from the Ottomans, and then they were Yugoslavia, and then they did some really bad stuff in the 90s that we can't mention here. And that's led to a lot of sort of fusion. You know, hence why they have dishes like goulash, which are mostly actually Hungarian origin. But Serbia also adopted it because they were mostly part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Very much a Balkan.
But yeah, so you'll see a lot of theme in the Balkan cuisine.
Here's the chuck neck cloves. So we could use either this. This is. Beef round for stir fry. Or we have the chuck neck bone. So what do you think? You think this? Thing's enough? It's like 2 pounds. Cheap though. You can talk.
Fun fact, Serbia is quite a new country. Formerly being part of Yugoslavia till it collapsed in like the 90s. And then it was like the Yugoslavia Minor. It was like a different version of that. And then more countries left until finally Montenegro left at 2006 when they finally woke up. They woke up to the fact that they were still part of Serbia. And they were like, no, we're not about that. We want to be our own country. And then another part of Serbia is recently trying to split, known as Kosovo. So
they actually signed their Declaration of Independence in 2008. But Serbia, about 104 United Nations countries officially recognize it. However, Serbia does not. No. Serbia considers their Declaration of Independence illegal and illegitimate.
They don't recognize it, but they don't control it.
It is an autonomous region.
Yeah,
in
so
the southern part.
Is it independent? We don't know. Are we gonna?
They claim that they are.
Yeah, that's up for you guys to decide. Vote in the comments. Kosovo?
Is it valid?
That's right. Was it valid?
So, for this recipe, as Joe moves away from the beef, I was going to require you to cut up a whole tenderloin. Now, we got the pre-cut stuff from the supermarket, so we didn't really have to do that, but we wanted to pretend like we did cut it up. So, yeah, make sure you got a full roast and just cut it up, about ½ pound. Next, you're going to want to cut up a whole onion. We got a white one, but you can use yellow. I believe yellow is traditional in the Serbian goulash. Make sure the onion is properly finely diced, as demonstrated by Joe beautifully. Next, you're going to want to put it and saute it in a medium saucepan and a Dutch oven, accompanied with a little bit of oil. we chose to do a little olive oil. Don't know if that's really traditional, but it tastes good. Next, you add in your beef. And you want to let that saute for a little bit till it gets a little color. It doesn't need to cook, but it just needs to sear. Careful. Next, we added in a little bit of beef broth for that extra flavor. If you want to go the extra mile, you can make your own beef broth. We did not do that. So, next step is just letting it simmer for quite a while. I believe we let it simmer for about an hour, but, you know, time may vary depending on stove and heat and whatever. And next we added in our extra little spices, including garlic powder, a little bit of umami mushroom stuff that we had laying around, tomato paste, and as well as some thyme and parsley. Feel free to add any more aromatics you got going around, but that was what is traditional in the dish. We also decided to add a little bit of pasta. Now this is optional, you don't have to do that, but we saw some images of goulash in pasta, so we just decided, let's do that. We brought a quart of water to around a whole box of macaroni-like pasta, and simply just went through the process of making pasta, and then just put the goulash on top of it. And yeah, that's the whole dish. Unfortunately, I did not get to film my reaction to the goulash. I would have loved to eat it, but I had my wisdom teeth out at that time. But let's hear what Joe had to say.
It was really, so good. I'm really glad that we redid this because I think we nailed it.
For added context, this was actually our second attempt at the dish. Our first attempt went very poorly. Here is our reaction to the first time we tried it.
It's honestly kind of mid.
Yeah.
Broth. This is just exactly what I said. Tomato sauce and beef broth.
So, I feel as if it would not be honest if we did not at least mention that.
I don't know it's supposed to taste even authentically, to be honest, but beef is so tender. It's such a good flavor throughout. And with the pasta too, I definitely see why they call this a comfort dish.
Now we're making the Gibanica, another sacred Serbian dish. This one is sort of a cheese pastry using feta and parmesan and filo dough, along with eggs and Greek yogurt. So I'm definitely getting a bit of that Hellenic vibe here, which maybe makes a little sense because both Greece and Serbia are Orthodox Christian. So I don't know. Maybe we're gonna learn something.
Non-professional photography.
This is not photography, it's videography.
Non-professional videography.
Now, as you can see, we are crumpling up the feta rather beautifully, and Joe goes onto my face for some reason. And then we mixed up the eggs. Big part of the recipe. Whisking the eggs. Whole eggs, too. No separate whites or anything else. And from there, it just goes straight into the feta. Next up was the garlic. Now, the garlic was interesting because me and Joe never really had a big experience with baking with garlic. I don't think I've ever made anything that calls for straight raw garlic, but I guess that's a thing in the East, Europe. And I guess to each their own. We put garlic in cooking, so I don't know why we just don't put it in the oven. Now, we used Greek yogurt, but you don't gotta use Greek yogurt. You can substitute it for cottage cheese. Now, into the bowl directly, we added baking soda, oil, sparkling water, and our garlic, eggs, and Greek yogurt, along with some Parmesan cheese to give this sort of big, gelatinous cheese mixture. Once the whole thing is mixed, we simply took the filo dough, which we layered with 2 flat sheets, horizontally and vertically, and took a crumpled up bit of filo and just dumped it into the cheese, and then sort of stacked it on, and then repeated the layer that we did at the bottom. This was something I was not very sure was going to work, but in the end, I think we did get a good product out of it. The rest of this recipe was just us going through the motions with the filo dough, taking a little bit of filo dough and dumping it into the cheese mixture. We did rows of 3, so we ended up with about 9 clumps of filo and layered that into the 9 by 9, I believe, pan with the parchment, and then simply layered 2 more filo dough thingies on the top to cover it up. From there, we just dumped the rest of the cheese mixture on top and beautifully distributed it to cook in the oven for 40 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now we're gonna bake that shit in the oven for about 40 minutes here there.
We like to hear it, folks.
Alright, 40 minutes to set that timer. Alright, Serbian cheese pie, Gibanica. Let's taste.
The crust is like a weird tendency.
Yeah.
It's like too like skinny. I don't know how to say it.
Because it's made from pastry dough.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like a mix of like, it's like you get like the dryness of like the dough, but then you get like the gooey like savoriness of like the cheese mixture.
The beautiful cheese.
Thanks for watching this video of us doing whatever this was and cooking a beautiful, delicious food and getting to eat it. Comment below your opinion on the Serbia-Kosovo conflict. We really want to know your opinions. Please let us know how we did, if we were authentic, if there's anybody who's Serbian or Balkan adjacent or has any heritage, you know, leave a comment, tell us how we did, give feedback, you know. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, yeah, fuck you. But yeah, just goodbye.